Welcome back, everybody, to Just the News, No Noise. The country faces an existential crisis, and it isn't what's going on with the riots in Los Angeles, at least not yet. It has to do with our national debt, because even though Elon Musk and President Trump have buried the hatchet for now, Elon was right about one thing: we have to cut spending at some point. So joining us now to talk about how the government can do that is businessman from Texas and someone who is trying desperately to raise national awareness to combat our country's debt crisis. Joe Penland is here with us. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Sir, as you looked at the details of OB3, is that what Congressman Stutzman called it? OB3, the way that it was, the status of it when it passed out of the House and got sent to the Senate, were you happy with that, or what changes would you want to see out of the Senate?
Well, I hope they don't make too many changes. Obviously, when you get this passed, there's no two ways about it. We're up against it. We're going to have to increase our debt ceiling. There's no two ways about that. But there's some good provisions in this. There's no perfect bill, and everybody needs to really pay attention to that. Look at it as a whole. It's good for America. We need to get it behind us and move on, because we've got a lot of other problems to address.
Sir, I want to talk a little bit about the process. I think one of the false narratives is that if all the spending cutting that solves the deficit for future isn't done in this one big, beautiful bill, it'll never get done. But in fact, there's already a rescission bill that's going to take a few more $1 billion out, and maybe 7 or more are coming down the pike through the summer and fall. The process doesn't end in cutting spending with the big, beautiful bill. It starts really there, right? And that it should accelerate. Is that the real expectation?
That's right. This is not the end all. Obviously, it's a good step. It is a real good step, but there's going to be several more to add to it as we go on. These tax breaks, to get people back to work, to not taxing tips and so forth. There's so many people suffering in this country that really need a break, and we need to do that. I think we need to extend the tax cuts of 2017, make them permanent. Look at where work was when he was there the first time. You see, everybody that wanted to work was working. We're going to do that again. I attended a energy summit in D.C. last week. From people from all over the world are wanting to come to America and spend their money. And that's the only way we're going to get out of debt, is we're going to have a massive influx of money from outside the country to create lots of jobs here, good paying jobs.
Joe, regardless of the content of the bill, whether you like it or not, this feels like a do or die situation for Republicans, especially Republicans in the House, to keep their majority. Does it feel like that to you as far as public sentiment and whether they can or cannot get it done?
Well, it's razor thin. There's no two ways about it. But I believe they're going to get it done. I had supper the other night. I call it supper. Y'all call it dinner, with the speaker the other night. They're optimistic. There's a whole lot of people optimistic that it's going to get done. I just hope the Senate doesn't hold it back too long. I hope we get this done for July 4th, and I think we will. And I think America will be a whole lot better off. We'll be on the right path, but there's still a lot of turns, a lot of bumps in the road. So this is not going to solve everything, but I'll tell you what, we need to get it done sooner than later.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Sir, one of the surprises in some of the data we've been seeing is the future projections of what President Trump's tariff policy will do to generate new revenue for the government, help us close that spending gap. It's in the hundreds of billions of dollars over the next few years. I think a lot of people weren't sure what the tariffs would ultimately do, what the Department of Government External Revenue was going to do. But now there are some hopeful signs that tariffs are going to be part of this revenue equation going forward. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm confident it is. I mean, we had to level the playing field. We've been behind a long time in this. There's nothing wrong with getting people sending stuff to our country and vice versa. That's okay. But we've had it, we've been taking it on the chin for a long time. But in that summit for 2 days, there was people, like I say, from all over the world wanting to come to this country and build plants and build factories. And the reason for that is because of the tariffs. So if they come here and create the jobs, the tax base here, we'll dig ourselves out of this hole a whole lot quicker than being what we have been in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joe, if we go to that website behind you, Joe for Texas, what will we find?
Well, you'll find a whole lot of things that we're doing, but go to that because we're working on Social Security. We know that's a huge problem. We think we have some answers to that. We're going to visit hopefully with the president in the next couple of months about that. We've been visiting with the speaker on that. We got to reform our immigration policy. There's no two ways about it. If we had a good immigration policy like we had back when we were bringing people through Ellis Island, we wouldn't be having the riots that we got right now. We just need to get our head out of the sand and do what's right because those are humans. The biggest thing those people have done wrong, they were born on one side of the Rio Grande, I was born on the other.
That's right, Joe. Always a pleasure having you here, sir. Thank you so much for being here. We just had a group from Washington, D.C., some students come through the
that
office
fun?
today. I think they should also go
Alabama.
to Ellis Island, and that would fix the immigration
great.
problem very
I
quickly.
agree.
That's right. All right, everybody, that does it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern.